almost every company in tech is making their employees sign non-competes because everyone's poaching each other in tech. And why should you care if you're jumping to a new job? They throw you oodles of money. Why should you care about your non-compete that you signed?
Because your initial employer might sue you for violating the non-compete.
But would that just stop you from going to the new place? Like, what is this lawsuit about?
The lawsuit is for breaching the non-compete agreement. So they could potentially get damages based on the money that you're costing them by violating the non-compete.
And how do they measure those damages?
By, let's say you brought clients with you and there was a non-solicit provision.
Okay.
You potentially might have to pay that money back.
All the clients that they lost.
Correct.
So big numbers.
Yeah, it could be big numbers.
And there's liquidated damages too a lot of times.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
So liquidated damages means a set amount that's put into the agreement because it's hard to quantify. Sometimes hard to quantify the actual effect that you're having on the business. Yeah.
It gets set per breach.
Correct.
So who's exposed? Is it just the employee that's taking the gamble? Is the new employer exposed? How does this work?
So the employer can also be exposed.
The new employer.
Yeah, they could get sued as well.
So it makes them not want to hire.
Correct. They could potentially get sued as well for interfering with that non-compete agreement.
So HR that's giving new employees contracts needs to have representations about existing non-competes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, I definitely would. If the employee has a non-compete, I would advise that employee to tell the new employer about the non-compete, because if they find out about it, they're going to fire him.
And it's also possible that the new employer will say, I'll indemnify you because I'm willing to take the risk on it, and I really want you to come here.
Potentially,
but
yes.
not indemnifying me and paying the damages on it.
Correct.
All right, so how do we know if these are enforceable? Because it's different, and you and I were discussing this off camera a little, but if we had a traditional non-compete, it's about reasonableness, meaning like geographic, job scope, duration. But when we're dealing with tech, geographic isn't the same thing as the doctor can't compete within 25 miles.
Correct.
So how does that work?
Correct. So geographic would probably be more broad for a situation like this, but it still has to be limited in terms of duration. You can't, a 5-year non-compete is likely not to be enforceable. No chance.
So really under 2 years is what we say.
Yeah, I would say, under 2 years.
Like I saw a 5-year recently in tech, but the guy sold his company for hundreds of millions of dollars. It's a little different when you have bargaining position, that's a little different.
Yes.
So besides that though, we're really thinking 2 years.
And just because he signed it doesn't mean that it's going to be enforceable.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I get a question a lot about. Ready? People go, all right, so it's too long, it's 10 years, it's unenforceable. If they do that, are they going to strike the whole document or just part of it?
So they might, but it depends on the court, because there's this thing called blue pencil, where the court is allowed to make that unenforceable non-compete enforceable. So they can limit the duration to make it enforceable.
So these are really affecting people's mobility between jobs. So you get a solid job, you sign the non-compete to get the job, you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, someone else throws oodles of money at you. This is a consideration, because here's what's interesting. Almost anyone can sue. So if they sued on the non-compete, even if they weren't going to win, it could force you to stay at your job.
Yes.
So these non-competes have to be evaluated when you first sign them and when you're changing jobs as well.
Yes, I would have them evaluated on both of those instances.
And the question isn't if the company is going to win when they sue on the non-compete. It's how likely they are to win because of this blue pencil thing.
Yes, but again, I just want to reiterate that some courts won't blue pencil because...
But they may.
Yes, they may.
Holy.